Hey, I'm Gurdeep from GUTSLIT and you're watching Metal Nexus.
Hey guys, what's up? We're with GUTSLIT, the brutal death metal band from Mumbai. So, how's everybody doing? How's everything going in the GUTSLIT camp?
Great. Awesome. Yeah.
That's nice. So, you recently were a part of the Brutal Grooves and Grinding Grooves European tour with Splattered and Carnivore de Prosopis and the rest. Yeah. So, how was it?
It was a good tour. Like we traveled like across 7 countries in Europe, and it was like more than 6,600 kilometers by road, 15 shows back to back. So it was quite like a challenge plus like too tiring mentally and physically. But it was a successful tour. We played like 3 festivals. We played Death Feast in Germany. We played Fecal Party in Czech Republic, and Mesoff in Switzerland. And we played like a lot of club shows, like the Backstage Munich, which is like one of the like famous ones. So we played like amazing sets, sold out shows, like be it Paris, be it Slovakia. It was like a very good tour. Like it was a very successful tour.
Awesome. So, talking about your music, you guys are a brutal death metal band or death grind, whatever. Um, and coming up with you guys sing about torture, murder, and all the gory stuff there. So, and coming up with lyrics can be a hard nut to crack sometimes. So, how does the lyrics pan out every time?
Yeah, I mean, basically when when I joined GUTSLIT, I guess like for this album, the lyrical theme was, I guess it was the work was kind of already cut out for me, because Gurdeep had this concept in mind where he wanted to do an album based on medieval torture devices and just accounts of how people used to be executed and stuff. So yeah, it was just horror based on medieval torture methods primarily, and so we had a concept in mind. So I just kind of like came in and wrote the lyrics, and that's, I guess, like that's how it went for this album.
So speaking about your European tours, you've been doing them for a while now. So what are the stark contrasting things that you would normally find there and you don't find here in India?
Thing is, I think over there everything is more DIY. We take our backline like on the road. We have our own drum kit, we have our own amps, everything is ours. So when we reach the venue, we have to set the entire stage up with the backline, with the kit and everything, do sound check, wait for our slot. Then as soon as the gig's over, we don't get time to chill. We have to dismantle the end thing, put it back in the van, and then head back out next day for the thing. Over here we are a little spoiled, and like we get everything done by the organizer and everything. We use the kit and everything that they provide. So that was a big change for us. Like the first time we went over there and we did this, it was we were kind of humbled by the whole process, and we think we take a lot of things for granted in India. So that was one of the biggest things we saw. And just in general, the people, they buy merch, they actually like, they go out there, they support the bands, and if they really like your band, they will go all out to support you, because they know that this thing takes a lot of effort, and they want to support you in any way possible, so they buy. That culture is slowly starting over here, but it's still not where it's supposed to be. So we found those like experiences very like yeah, I guess enlightening, I guess, at that point. But it was fun. Like it's completely night and day, India versus over there. Everything's a little more professional. I'm not taking a piss on India or whatever. It's just they've been doing it longer and they know what they're doing. So it was a great experience, and we'll keep doing it again and again. Yeah.
Awesome. So it's been a month since your amphitheater release. Congratulations on that. So what would you say about the reception of the album by the fans? Has it met your expectations?
I think the reception's been great. The reception's been really, really good. I mean, obviously from the previous album to now, there have been 2 member changes. So, vocalist and the guitarist. So the sound is completely different from the previous album and what people know GUTSLIT as. Yeah. So initially, obviously, we were a little. I mean, I'm very happy that uh, when we started writing songs and everything, everybody was on the same page. Especially Gurdeep and Aaron, they were open to my style, which is very very different from the previous guitarist who wrote the previous album. So yeah, after the songs were done, then Kaushal came in and then he was worried. He's like, the style is completely different. Like from the previous album it had more slams, it was more grind. Like the production was completely different. Now it's a lot more. Now it's straight up brutal death with grind elements with a slightly more modern production edge. You know what I mean? So we were a little worried. We were like, okay, how's it? Not worried, but we were.
Alienate our old fans.
Yeah, we didn't want to alienate the old fans. We were a little concerned. Okay, how's it going to be? But the reviews have been very good. People have loved it so far. Reception's been great. Europe, we played the songs. Everyone loved it. Yeah, it's been awesome. So upwards from here.
That is awesome. So, talking about your new album again, it's a much more sonically polished and brutal and much more groovy than your debut one. So, was this a conscious decision in the album making process?
It was very natural. Like in terms of riffage, see, I wasn't entirely a death metal guitarist when I joined. I kind of had to mold my sound based on the previous. Like I took a little bit from the previous style where there's a lot of pinched harmonics, and my idea of death metal combined with the conceptual ideas of Gurdeep and some transition. And I think one really good thing about this album is Aaron's, like our efforts have shined individually in the album. Like Aaron's style of drumming is something you can identify with now, I feel. So from the next album you'll be able to tell that, he's got a certain style and he's got influences. So it wasn't conscious. It was in fact, this was a very collaborative in terms of sound. It was, yeah, whatever came. Like he went really in terms of, he added his element in terms of the drum ideas. I added my songwriting efforts. Gurdeep's conceptualization, like the torture devices and, his bass ideas and everything, his vocals. So yeah, I mean, I think the next album's it's not going to be vastly different like the first and second album, but it's going to be an edge ahead of Amphitheater because it's again going to be the same lineup. So yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
Awesome, that's great to know. So, your ex-vocalist Aditya has quit the band last year. How did Kaushal join in? Would anyone like to give an insight?
With Kaushal, it was like a very different angle of working with, like, in terms of music is concerned, and it was very easy because he is more lyrical based person, which I personally prefer myself. You should know where your strengths are, and you should know where weaknesses are and how you're working on them also, and how you're taking up the whole concept of the song and you're building a structure around it, and then you're building the whole song as it's yours. So it was very nice that everything came naturally, and it worked out very well, where I just shot the concept and we decided the names and all, this is the concept, and then he was very prompt in getting the lyrical stuff done. Then he and Pratik sat down and we all sat down, we got the arrangements going, even while recording, they spent a lot of time in modifying things, and he was quite trying out different things that we wanted to be there in the album. It's not a straight out only you're gonna do only growls or you're only gonna do pick squeals and all. No, that the mix and match was perfectly very well done, and accenting on certain parts and strengths and all was very nicely done. So it's always a compliment and a way ahead from what it was before. So it worked in a better way for us.
So, do you approve that?
Sorry?
Do you approve that?
Thumbs up.
So, you're the new vocalist now. So, are you good past the new guys stage, or is it still looming around?
Yeah, right about now, maybe I think I'm getting over that because, I've traveled the length and breadth of Europe with these dudes. And now we're again kind of doing a mini tour here. So, yeah, I guess I've kind of settled in well. I think it's been a little more than a year. And yeah, I'm not the new guy anymore right now.
You'll always be the new guy. Always, till and happy member.
That is cool. So, talking to you. It's surprising that the bassist of a brutal death metal band can also be in an Indian classical fusion band, which is Agnya, if I'm not wrong. How do you manage such contrasting roles, and tell us about it?
So like when both the bands were active, so it was like literally getting GUTSLIT jams going for like 2-3 hours, and then immediately after that there would be Agnya jams. So that day and that evening itself would be like total chaos in my head, like what the fuck is happening, and I would be confused, like suddenly I'm playing like death metal, and like now suddenly I'm like gonna mellow it down. So it's like poles apart. The fans are completely different. The musicians are completely like different, except for the drummer, obviously, who's also from the metal scene. So that is what we wanted to do. We wanted to like just find out like how we can like just get our creative angle going in a different genre also. It worked out really well. So we are like just like figuring things out, like how to get the whole production angle going, and like finally get something out. So it's good. It's fun. It's like it's a different mood of the day basically. Whenever you're angry, you're gonna play GUTSLIT. Whenever you're like like happy or sad or whatever, you're gonna play GUTSLIT again, but Agnya also.
That's great, a little bit of everything. So your record label Transcending Obscurity has been your partner this time. Do you feel any change in record sales or fans exposure to compare to your debut when you were on the Coyote Records?
So luckily for us, what has been the good part is we've been selling out like our merchandise and CDs quite a lot. With GUTSLIT also, like we sold out like stuff like quite easily. With Transcending also, what has happened is like we've sold out on our CDs, we sold out on the amphitheater t-shirts. Our box sets are almost gone. We've reprinted the CDs, we reprinted the t-shirts. Like like things have been rolling out really well. The digital reach, the online like physical reach also of the stuff being like through Plastic Head also, Transcending and Plastic Head together is also, and also the tour plus the tour. It's like really nice, like that we've gone out physically. We've shown people what we play, and then we like we've let them decide that do you want to buy this or not. So that has helped us quite a lot, like in general. So it's like that added effect, like a joint effect of GUTSLIT going out on the road, and also the label backing us from the back. So then it's worked out very well for us.
Sweet. So we're in the tail end of our interview and ending it on a lighter note. Your tagline, I really find it hilarious, and it is one of the best taglines, to be honest. Jai Mata Di, let's chop. So how did you come up with this? Is there a funny story behind?
No, actually, a friend of ours, Sanil, like shout out to Sanil. So Sanil actually came up with this. What had happened was, incidentally, like there's a Bollywood scene like where it's like Jai Mata Di, let's rock and all. So I think so it was just sheer out of frustration and like whole like protest against Bollywood, or maybe just for the love of metal. He was like just like Jai Mata Di, let's chop, and it just like hooked us on like then and there. And we were like, we want to do this, like we want to take this ahead. And it's worked out quite well, like internationally also. Like be it the Jai Mata Di, let's like chop t-shirts also. Like people around the world are wearing it now. So yep, goes well.
That is nice. So thank you guys for having your time and letting us do this. And so, any last things you'd like to say to your fans and our viewers?
Jai Mata Di, let's chop.
That's awesome. So thank you again, and make sure to subscribe to Metal Nexus, and please don't forget to get that amphitheater. It's going to brutalize you. Thank you.